Today's the day. Our movie finally premieres on the marquee, as you see today.
Oscar Wilde quote, which I thought was so perfect and set the tone.
Yeah, thank you.
And I just wanted to know if you could repeat it for me. But you said you'll talk to me about it later.
Yeah, I'll get it. It's at the beginning of his book, The Picture of Dorian Gray. And what I was trying to do in it was to try to do a reversal of Oscar Wilde. Like in Oscar Wilde, what happens to the character, what his devious deeds are, get reflected in the painting. And the paintings kind of, represent that. Now, I was trying to do the opposite, that the paintings, in some degree, that are part of, the collection that Kingston has, are kind of foreshadowing what's going to happen, what's going to happen. They kind of, in a little way, sort of have a sort of a hypnotic spell on the characters, a little bit.
And also, I was curious about that line about a young Kirk Douglas, because actually the actor looks exactly like Kirk Douglas. Did you write that before you cast him or after you cast him?
That's a good question. He's just back. The actor is back there. If you want to look at him and see if he looks like he does look like Kirk Douglas, right?
Yes.
And I said, "Oh my God, he looks like Kirk Douglas."
I didn't even know Kirk Douglas until people started telling me that, like, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, and then, Spartacus that's pretty cool.
But you do. I mean, Zach.
If I look like that, I'm down to be Spartacus.
Yeah. And,
Did you ask everybody who auditioned to strip for you?
He didn't ask me.
If only it was that kind of movie.
Well, I knew Zach had the look. That was it. And I asked Zach at the very.
I mean, because the body is very important in this film.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's not.
And I asked Zach at the very beginning if he would be willing, to do the nudity, what we needed, for the film, and that we would, use his, because a lot of it, artistically, he's a beautiful body, and it fits into the art framework of the film. Yes.
Well, we owe the film editor a lot of credit because at one point during the editing process, he said, I don't see how the audience could buy the closeness of Kingston and White Boy or Action. So it was told to you that maybe we should have some scenes where we get acquainted, and that's...
Alan, I saw your play, which this is based on, I guess, right?
Oh, you saw
Loosely.
the Juan and Emmett play?
Maybe, yeah, Juan and Emmett. That was about 8 years ago?
Yeah.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was the same theme, of course. And I'm wondering, what did you keep and what did you lose in the transference from the play to the movie?
That's a good question, thank you. Well, The Office, a lot of the interrelationships in The Office, I don't have that because I couldn't get into an office, so I cut that.
We limited and added. We substitute, like my brother playing he has a relationship with Zach, and they're more like colleagues.
Right.
We show more of that.
Right.
Because I played the original guy in the play, but my scene was just very limited.
Right, and it's a shame because actually a theater group did a reading of Juan and Emmett, and that's Julia Genoveva, she played it when she was young, and she wanted to do that scene between Juan and his girlfriend. So they did a reading of just that, and when they did the reading, it worked out very well. And I wish I had the money to incorporate all that. So that's one thing I really had to cut. And it's a shame, But Ariel's assistant, I developed just a little bit more, and that was played by Ron's brother.
You have to add one thing. You remember one big dilemma that delayed this film, because we started almost 3 years ago, almost the end of 2019, but the pandemic kind of shut us down.
Right, we shot this during the pandemic. As you know, we shot this during the pandemic. And this was guerrilla filmmaking at its best. It had to be. Subway.
But it was the director's vision, and the director is the boss. I heard in Hollywood,
Yeah, that's true.
and in New York,
That's true. That's true.
and that's you
Yeah.
and your writing.
Yeah.
Your
yeah,
writing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's true. But you made it come alive. Your acting made it come alive
Well,
under very dire circumstances,
I mean,
right?
Stephen as my son, and Tony Lantini as my coworker,
Yeah,
and Josephine as my ex-wife.
right.
It was so hard to argue with her.
Yeah. And the man you had to fight, who's back over there.
No, actually, she was my current wife.
Right.
You wish it was my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks to you, it all came
Exactly.
alive. This is,
Yeah.
And then the challenge is, of course, when we filmed outside, and every time a person would walk by with a mask, so we had to cut the film because we can't just have a shot of
Right.
somebody wearing a mask.
right. All these are all problems of low budget filming. So come on and see the film, and please spread the word. But thanks a million for coming. You're a great cast. Thank you very much.